This interview is for an exercise in a course that I am taking this semester. For the purposes of this exercise, do you consent to being interviewed and recorded?
Yes, I consent to being interviewed and recorded. I work for CU Student Government and I'm on the executive staff. I'm the homecoming and athletics chair. So I plan all of homecoming for the whole school, which is about a 4 to 5 month process of planning and then executing it, and then I also oversee the athletics department. A typical day in the work for me is that I'll come in usually in the morning after classes, catch up on emails, talk to people in the office about budgeting things that I have to work on, and then I will usually have meetings, maybe like 1 meeting a day. Sometimes I'll have up to 4 meetings a day based on what time of year it is. And then I'll work on creating job descriptions so I can hire more people for my staff. So that's a pretty typical day. I usually spend probably 2 to 3 hours in the office per day. My coworkers consist of mainly about 27 people, but because CU Student Government is so big, it's actually a lot more than that, but those 27 people on the executive staff are who I work with the closest. Their positions, for example, is Director of Student Engagement and Director of Diversity and Inclusion. For Director of Student Engagement, she is in the office probably 3 or more hours per day, and she will be replying to emails. She has a lot of meetings with student group leaders and people around the community that are wanting to get involved in CU. I think that 3/4 of student government's executive staff is women and 1/4 are male. We're definitely a pretty heavy female workplace in terms of the executive staff. A time where my own gender was an issue within the workplace was, so this summer I was the only female working in the workplace in student government because I'm the first position that's hired at the start of the school year. All of my meetings for probably the first 3 weeks, month-ish, were only with males. I was kind of disregarded at every meeting. I'd call my mom afterwards, like so upset that no one was listening to me. There was just like a lack of respect for myself and my position. The tables kind of turned when I had a meeting with the director of the rec center, and one of the student body presidents was like, I've never seen somebody handle themselves so well in a meeting. Like, you totally blew me away, and that like gained my respect within the office. I think this also pertains to government on a local and national level also. I think that the women are kind of meant to be this relatable figure that anybody can come in and talk to us, and that, you know, we're a little bit more soft-spoken, where like males would come into the office and kind of assert dominance more than females. I think that is probably the largest difference, that within my role I have to be, you know, really open and responsive and, you know, an easy communicator, where a male could potentially be a little bit more stern and directive than I would supposed to be. I think that men tend to take positions in student gov that are a little bit more like financial based, or you know, things that are more on like the business side, where the females tend to take positions where they're talking to students, they're talking to administration, where it's a little bit more of a communicative position. There have been situations where my bosses definitely expect me to do my job, do it on time, and do it right, where there are some males in the workplace that might kind of slack off. You know, they need that extra push to remind them what they're doing, where with me, I feel like I wouldn't be given that. They just expect that I'm going to do it and get it done. Within student gov, I think that right now we're at a really awesome point in student government's history because we do have so many females in really important positions. I think it'd be amazing to see a female step into, you know, the position of director of finance or something like that that is less expected. If you look at the national government, it's not super female friendly, I guess you could say, but within student gov, I think it's amazing to see so many female leaders.